What is up, my mates of YouTube? My name is Aussie Marcel, and in today's video, it's pretty overcast right now, but it was beautiful and sunny before. We've been getting some rain, and we are back in the capital Wasteland, as per usual. Just got finished working out. Pretty good session with the weights, so that's good. Been dealing with an awful lot of work drama lately. Awful lot of drama within the workspace. Problems with like upper management, problems with pay, all sorts of drama and problems that you don't expect in sort of like a business run by, seemingly functional adults. And it's really been tripping me out. Like, maybe that's just sort of the service industry or hospitality, if you prefer. Maybe that's, I don't know, it's hard to explain, because when you go into work, you expect a certain environment. When things don't meet what you expect, it creates this jarring feeling that you can't quite shift out of. It's like struggling to find that certain gear. And it's just any work environment can have sort of a problem here or a problem there. But when problems start compounding, that's when you get those really big issues that seemingly like, it's almost like a cancer in a way, where you've got that little kernel and it spreads and becomes something much bigger than it originally was. And if it's exactly like your cancer. If you treat it early, if you find it early and you can treat it, chances of recovery, are great. Obviously, in the analogy, in reality, it can be, quite unfortunate. But generally speaking, we're talking about generalities here. So that's just been weighing down on me. And I've been requesting time off to go to some gigs with some very close friends of mine. And I'd had it all sorted out, because I was I'm supposed to be going to see Kublai Khan and Terror this coming Saturday, and I'm so keen on it. I need to get into Melbourne, need to go to a gig. But there's this function on, and there's over 60 people, and if I'm not bartending for it, that function is basically cancelled. So I'm weighing all of this stuff in my head right now. And I suppose when you look at it, you've got to sort of weigh your work life with your personal life, and you've got to have that balance. But it's just really, it's such a bummer, it's such a drag when you have to deal with those issues, because either way you're letting someone down. And I think part of being a man is dealing with that, is dealing with disappointment, dealing with unmet expectations, and then not so much suffering the consequences, but just facing them head on like a man. So I'm sort of wrapping my head around all of that. I'm wrapping my head around all of these workplace issues as well, and it's overbearing right now. But the trick is not to let it bum you out. I wasn't bummed today per se, but I'm definitely on this down trip. I'm definitely on a bit of a downer today. And so I went and saw Alien Romulus, and maybe it was my headspace, but I thought the movie was a little overhyped. We're talking 7 out of 10 territory. It wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Visually, stunning movie. But it got me thinking, there's the start of the movie, and this isn't a spoiler, but the start of the movie is basically on this mining colony, and people are trading their life for work. You know, you've got to work to obtain your freedom. And it does feel like we're sort of on that path. We're on that territory right now where little traces of that are floating into society, where we've got to work for these mega corporations to, you know, obtain our freedom. And just made me take stock of life as it is right now, and how one of the characters, the main character, her literal entire quest, her entire goal is predicated upon just being able to see the sun. Get that? I'll let that sink in for a moment. I think her name is like Rain or something like that. But her entire goal is to just live a life where she can see the sun. And how easy is that for us to take for granted? We get to see a sunrise and sunset every day pretty much. You know, the majority of us are in this position where we can wake up and see the sunrise, and we can go to bed after seeing the sunset. And how in this sort of like world in the future, in this sci-fi space opera dystopia, they're literally fighting to see the sun. And that's going to be a reality for human beings one day. That's going to be a reality. And like videos like this, traces of this sort of life, these little remnants of our present, our now, they're going to exist. And in 500 years time, they're going to look back, you know, 1,000 years time, they're going to look back at all of this, and they're going to just say how good we all had it. And the ridiculous thing about all of that is that we find little problems within everything, tying it back into like the drama at work. Little things that aren't, you know, they aren't massive things. They're just workplace drama. But when people aren't getting paid correctly, and when there's issues at work, it's just like, it clouds the sunrises and the sunsets. You know what I mean? It clouds that. It obscures it. And that's sad. Because lately I've been on a super positive kick. I've just been really in my element. Band practice has been going really well. You know, we're, you know, having some hectic as jam sessions that are just 2 hours, like when you're hanging with one of your boys, you know. And it's just 2 hours when you can just have fun making music and having a chat, talking about music and all of that. And you live for those little moments. And then you've got the cloud of all the little problems, all the, you know, it's a trickle down effect. It really is. It just trickles down. And, you know, I wonder how much of that is our ego, how much of that is, you know, we entwine our personal lives in with our work lives a little too much. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? And it's not just like a service industry. It's not just a bar thing. You know, those problems will crop up anywhere, in any industry, in any field of work. I don't know. So I've just been really focused on working out, getting the body right, because you got to treat yourself like a temple. You know, healthy mind leads to a healthy body leads to a healthy mind. Maybe I need to read a little bit more. I already read a huge amount as it is, but I reckon I need to read a little bit more, be a little more mindful, practice a little more gratitude. And like, I'm already a grateful person. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Anyways, I don't mean for any of this to sound like a bummer or anything like that. That's definitely not my intention here. But if you've seen Alien Romulus, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, not a bad movie. Just maybe a little overhyped, a little overrated. Just a smidge. I much preferred Fede Alvarez's his Evil Dead movie from 2013. That movie is just incredible as far as horror movies go. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be a little more mindful, a little more grateful. And it's funny because like I went out here to record a video earlier today, and I sat down and it was beautiful and sunny, and I recorded about 2 minutes, maybe up to 3 minutes of like footage where I was talking about brain rot on social media. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I'm like generally a pretty creative person. I do a lot of writing, and I was sitting out here and it just felt forced. And I often write, you know, in my blogs, I often write, you know, when I'm creating something, I don't want it to feel forced. I just want it to come naturally, you know. I dislike it when you're creating something, but you can just tell it's not coming naturally. You're just forcing it, and it feels like there's that lack of intentionality towards it. I know I can't be the only person that thinks and feels that way. Anyways, let me know in the comments below. You know, I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing from you all, and just the discussions we're having in the comments. It's a pretty positive vibe. It's a pretty positive place. Until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, and I'll catch you guys around.